Hello, my name is Riley, and I will be presenting to you my public speech. So, pretty much, I chose the coronavirus as my incident, and I'll begin reading it now. The unbelievable happened during my lifetime. This is something I never dreamt that I would experience, and it's a bit surreal. My friends and I have always laughed about school getting canceled and us having a longer summer break, but now that it's there, we are not enjoying this downtime and the lack of human interaction. We can't talk to friends. We can't go out to eat. We really can't do anything together. Pranking is all gone. Um, the virus caused the economy to shut down, and my mother and my pops, along with others, have lost their income. My pops and others are working from home. School has also start. We started to work home from school, and I'm just I'm just getting really bored right now. At the time. Um, I miss going into restaurants because that's where all the good food was. You don't get the best food from fast food. Well, it may be delicious to a certain degree. Um, it's just missing the restaurant vibe. It was the best part about it. My mom was at high risk, so it was really worrying because she had asthma, a pretty bad asthma. Um, so we were constantly washing our hands, surfaces, and staying away from others. We always had to clean around, including when friends when came, if they came. Um, the only thing that really kept me happy was the PS4, my phone from time to time, music, movies, chats with friends. And yeah, mm, it really was at the time the only thing you could talk about was Corona. Interesting conversations about how school went was pretty much boring because the only thing people did was while virtual classes were going on, we were on our phones or cheating or watching videos on the computer. So Corona just it took away a big aspect of human interaction that made it fun. Not only that, the death rates were incredibly high, from worldwide. With On March 11th, it was characterized as a pandemic. Um, we pretty much to protect ourselves. Not only did we wash our hands, but we had to rub alcoholic-based hand rub and wash them with soap and water. We had to remind ourselves to do this process every single day, or else our chance of us and my mom getting sick were very high, and respiratory illnesses would have very quickly killed her. We had to avoid contact with pretty much anybody, and then, like I said before, we cleaned constantly. Um, Another way was just social distancing. Just keeping your space away, 6 feet away. And a lot of times at the time, people didn't follow it because kids either thought the pandemic wasn't a real thing. And I was thinking at the same time, that was me. Whenever we were first introduced to it, it was all the way on the other side of the world. So I thought nothing of it. But it spread so fast that my awareness started to increase, while others, it really didn't. They treated it as a joke, and after a certain point, the school had, even after the video break, everyone came back together and COVID cases were still going off. All because of our insolence as kids. Brazoria County at March 26, 2020, ordered a stay-at-home quarantine, only allowing essential personnel out to work. So parents, kids didn't do anything. You could go out for food, get alcohol, doctor appointments, and walking your dogs. But while still practicing the social distancing, but health experts recommended to stay at home for 14 days. And a lot of times when friends got COVID in a class, it was a big worry that anybody who sat around them, sometimes the entire class would be removed and sent to quarantine, and this caused my grades and others to drop significantly. And when they did catch COVID, they were gone for much more than 14 days, plus being in the hospital. Some kids had severe in my school and almost died. So that's what started to really raise awareness of the coronavirus. We had to stay at home for a long time if we felt unwell, We had to follow the rules of the local health authority. For people who were connected to COVID, isolation was pushed, and staying at home and just doing absolutely nothing. It really put a mental toll on me because I couldn't enjoy, I couldn't relax. That little break from work was too long, and I can't even consider it a break anymore. It was more like jail time. Um, Over that time, I learned that this is flattening the curve. It's pretty much when it practices to slow the rate of COVID-19 infections, so hospitals have the room and supplies because they were running out rapidly. Older people a lot of times were being pushed to be treated, especially because they have a weak immune system, and it targeted the older population, and we lost my parents lost friends due to it, and it was a scary time for everyone. Um, what is that? Okay. At a certain point, hospitals all around the world were being filled to the brim with people. There was no space, and when people came, a lot of times they were unable to treat them, not because of the lack of space, but also because the chaos people were causing. They were forcing their way in. They kept on putting their babies up. Oh, save my baby, like check up on my baby and everything like that. And it caused a full breakdown in the hospitals where they had to limit and start to send. They did send some regular. I can't remember if it was police officers, but they had personnel to like watch over the people and like keep them in check at hospitals. Over time, the situation did get better as we were able to treat it faster and treat it better. But while the coronavirus, in the midst of all this, as we came close to a vaccination, it mutated, causing much more havoc. And it was the coronavirus. Can't remember the strand name, but Delta or something, and it caused. It infected them much more rapidly, and it was much more severe than it was the first. But overall, while it was a terrible event, it helped us be more aware of washing our hands, be careful of people coughing and sneezing, and taking essential steps to keeping yourself healthy and safe and clean. It also helped us realize that some things that are happening around the world shouldn't be taken that are happening on the other side of the world shouldn't be taken so lightly, because they could come right where we are in an instant, and that's what happened with COVID. This was my first, and I hope it was my last year of having pandemic, and I hope it will never happen to me or anybody else again.